What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and Wade Show with me, your host, Tommy Mack. And today, I'm on my own because Kid Scorpion has started camp. He's out there in Thailand, getting ready, getting the preparation underway for his big ring return. So it's just me today. Got LDG behind the camera once again. And we're back in the home of Whiskey and Wade and the home of Andy Town Boxing, Oliver Plunkett Gym. This is where me and Tyrone first met all them years ago. Champions have come in there these doors, and it is, a second home. Also, this week, we haven't got any sponsors again. So, I don't know, since Tyrone said, just contact Tommy about sponsorship, no one's getting in contact. I don't know why. Does everybody hate me or something? They don't like me? But we pride ourselves on being a people's podcast. So, as you know, there's nothing in life free, and it's not free to do this podcast. So, every little bit helps. And if you are interested in sponsoring the show or advertising or promoting, please get in contact and, help a brother out, man. But, so no sponsors this week again. And, so we're getting to the show. It's next week. I seen online. Next week is Men's Health Awareness Week. And, we'll go into a wee bit of men's health today because I have had a small health issue myself. As some of you can recall, when Chris Suter was here, my phone rang and it was from the hospital saying blah, blah, blah. And they were going, Tommy, it's STD, it's a herpes playing up. But what actually has been going on with me, I had to go for a colonoscopy. So I went this morning for it. And it's something that I didn't want to talk about or tell people. I didn't tell my family. I barely told my wife. I only told her because I had to go to the doctor, obviously. And she's going, why do you keep going to the doctor? So that's the only reason why I had to tell my wife. But it's something that I wanted to keep to myself unless, I had the worst news. Thank God everything's all clear. But the reason for this colonoscopy, back in December, I was getting blood in the stool. So blood in the stool, for, in layman's terms, is blood when you're having the shit, right? So that obviously scared me. And I just signed the fight in January. So I didn't want to tell no one, didn't want to tell doctors because I thought, well, obviously the doctor would pull the fight. If you're having blood in the stool, it's a serious fucking thing. So didn't want to jeopardize the fight. Didn't want to tell no one in case they told someone. So I just wanted to get in, and have the fight. And then after the fight, I spoke with my friend who's a doctor, Dr. Pete, Dr. Pete, told him what was going on. And he says, listen, you're going to have to get a camera in there to have a look. And, I didn't want to have to do that either. I didn't want to get checked or nothing. And, as men and many men like me who suffer from toxic masculinity, we don't want to be getting any kind of checkups downstairs. Especially black men, especially Jamaican men. And, I'm Jamaican descent. So, nobody down there but the knocker zone. But, so I left it for a while and the blood was still persistent. And I went to Dr. Pete again. He's like, Tommy, for fuck's sake, I told you need to go and see a GP. So I went, had a couple of tests done, and there was some of them, most of them were clear, but one of them was abnormal. So I had to get referred for a colonoscopy, and I was trying to put it off. Again, the blood wouldn't stop, so I was like, fuck it. Went to Pete again. He says, Tommy, I've told you need to get a camera. So eventually got the colonoscopy organized, and to be honest, I was scared. For the last 11 months, maybe there's men out there who can relate, and ladies too. When there's a problem, if you ignore it, you think it's going to go away soon, but this would not go away. And my cousin, some of you may know, I've spoke about it on the podcast. My cousin died in August 2022, and he was only 36. And so it was really, worrying me. Like, he was a young man, died of cancer. I was thinking, maybe I've got cancer. I was like really hoping for the best, but fearing the worst. But eventually this morning, I went and got the colonoscopy, and everything was all clear. So thank God. But when I went down to the hospital, I went in, and the girl in the reception, she knew who I was. The next nurse who brought me in to get the notes, she was like, I know you're very famous. And I was like, fuck's sake. Talking about boxing and, my son. I was like, don't be telling him I was down here. I was like, oh, no, not at all. And then when I got brought in to get the procedure, the fucking room was packed. I was like, geez, I didn't think there would be so many people in here. If I had knew it would be an audience, I would have just took the cancer and just fucking... And she was like, no, it's all confidential. I watch your podcast, very funny. I was like, oh, Jesus. And then the other doctor was like, there's two doctors. There's one watching the screen and one staring the camera. I'm like, fuck's sake, ask me about boxing. So you can't go nowhere. So I was like, fucking, I may as well just come out and just talk about it. And, as men, we shouldn't be ashamed, especially as we get older. I know I'm not that old yet, but 1 in 4 black men suffer or get diagnosed with colon cancer or prostate cancer. So, all men, but in particular black men, we have to be very careful and look out for the signs. And I'm a family man. I'm not ready to die yet, So I'm glad that I've got the all clear, but I did him and half for 6 months about going to get checked. But yeah, fellas, if you're having any problems, make sure you get out there and get yourself checked, because life is short enough. There's no point in cutting it even shorter. And there's no shame when you get this done, even though I do feel slight bit of shame, fucking sitting up in a bed, room full of people, and they're shoving a camera up your arse hole. Fuck's sake. You don't want that. I thought I would get through life without anyone getting near there, but I thought wrong. Even when they started the procedure, the doctor was like, right, we're going to put some gel on. I was like, put plenty of gel because I'm a virgin. The reading nurse started laughing. I was like, I'm being serious. But yeah, not a pleasant experience, but it's for the greater good. So definitely, lads, make sure you're not afraid to get this checked out. And I always slag Tyrone as well, but he's been diagnosed with ADHD. So mental health is as important as physical health, and I'm always joking with Tyrone about his mental health. But really, it is no joke. It's a serious thing. Mental health, because you can't see it, it doesn't. Maybe people don't take it as serious, but it must be so hard. I know it's hard for Tyrone just to do normal things because of the ADHD, and he has such a severe case of it. Like, that's why I was like, why are you going to Thailand? Why don't you just train here? And he was like, no, I need to get out of my comfort zone. But that Thailand probably is more comforting for him because he's not around people who he knows. He doesn't have to talk to people, which he absolutely hates doing. But that's just what he has to deal with every day, that kind of pressure. So, whatever things we're going through as men, we need to try and tackle it head on. Look, I know you've suffered with mental health issues in the past. Like, what was going on with you?
More so it was to do with coming out of secondary school. I think in secondary school I was doing a lot of bad things like drinking, smoking, all that sort of stuff at a very young age. And then sort of also lost a relationship with God at the time. I was a Christian, I was sort of like an atheist at the
were
time
an
as well.
atheist at
I
the
was an
time?
atheist, yeah. I grew up in a Christian household, but then I was like, no, I don't need God and all that sort of stuff. And then I
Yeah.
went down that phase of like rebellion, I guess. And then everything just went downhill at that point, you know. In secondary school, it really got really bad because like even during that, I failed everything. I didn't even go to school once because I was completely like,
You
I
just
couldn't
had
talk to
to
anyone.
drink and smoke and
Yeah,
straight
literally.
west coasting.
Literally, like and then even when at that point, I just didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. I didn't feel like I belonged. So then, how ultimately affected me was school and even social life in general. I just completely scrapped all that and stayed in. Like I just was just staying home all the
Like a
time.
recluse.
Yeah. And then like what do you call it? Like so I wasn't able to do as well in my like education because I wasn't going to school and I wasn't going to secondary education and all that. And I felt like I'm not going to get anywhere. So
What was your parents saying about you not going to school?
my mum was always trying to push me like to
Yeah.
get to go there, but I just never did. And then I eventually got onto the CAMS program, which is like I think it's like suicide prevention because there was multiple times where I
Were you
attempted to take my
feeling
life.
suicidal?
Oh yeah, proper like
Yeah.
proper suicidal, yeah, 100%. Like what actually happened, it's quite hard for me to say, but there was one time I tried to do it and I just didn't fully commit. Like I
You
guess
didn't
I'm like,
really want to die, you know.
yeah.
The people's it's a saying you probably would know because you had help with your mental health issues, but it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yeah.
And deep down, you probably know it, and you know, especially coming from a religious family, you probably know like it's the ultimate sin as a Christian.
Yeah, 100%. It was that sort of fear upon me as well. But like, what it actually ultimately happened was, I was about to like hang myself out in the staircase, and when nobody was home, thinking like, like I sort of said to myself like, if there is a God, you might come out to me now because I'm gonna end it all here. And basically, I went to do that, and then as soon as I was about to jump off a chair, my little brother walks in school uniform, seeing the rope around my neck and stuff like that. And then as soon as I saw like the look in his eyes, I sort of felt for the first time like, you know what? And I know it's sort of like a hot take on it, but I sort of felt like for the first time I felt so like selfish in terms of me thinking the way like, how could I think it's all about me and how I feel and this, that, the other? Yeah. But ultimately it affects the people around me. And ever since I felt that, I was like, nah, ever since then, I just put my life on the right track. I was like, I got to get back at it because after seeing that look in my brother, I was like, no chance.
Yeah, you know, the men's have, it's no joke, you know, people just expect, I know it's an old school thing and like the new generation are getting people more sensitive. Not sensitive, maybe that's the wrong word, but in tune with their emotions. But you're just expected, you know, just get on with it. And because no one could see what's going on in your mind.
Yeah.
And then in school, people probably just going, Luke's a maniac. And then you're not going in, Luke's a rebel. He just don't come to school. But really, you're depressed. That is depressing what you're going through.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was more so I think it was leading on anxiety, and that anxiety sort of led to depression because the only thing is that I didn't feel like I didn't go to school or talk to anyone because I just didn't feel like I fit in with anything because I was so different and outgoing and different from the social norms. Were you
getting bullied or anything?
Oh, yeah. I was definitely getting bullied like in secondary school. I even had like there was one time where it was I don't want to call out the school like, but it was integrated school, and I was basically sitting there in registration one time, and I remember bringing out like a Bible, just a wee Bible for me to read, because I felt like it was the only thing there that would give me comfort, like in the morning, just to read it, because even though there's so much stuff going around me, I don't want to think about it. I feel like if I just read, and it was a wee like Gideon read one, wee Gideon read book, or read Bible, and then I read that, and then what had happened is people were looking at me like scoffing, mocking, or that sort of stuff, and then one of your guys, and the teacher didn't even say it, but one of your guys like sat there saying, "What are you reading?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just reading the wee Bible," and blah blah blah. And he goes, "Give me that." He grabs it, flies it across the room, and like ever since when I felt like I was comfortable at least in school for even that little bit, ever since that happened, I was like, "Nah, not a chance. I'm going." Even if it's in registration, the teacher's right there and she's not able to see it. Yeah, not a chance.
I'll tell you what. I've spoken about it here as well. made it like a task for me. I'm going to try and read the Bible from front to back.
Yeah.
Starting on the old school, or the Old Testament, the New Testament.
Yeah.
And I got through Genesis, halfway through Exodus, and that is a hard book to read.
Oh, Exodus, yeah,
so,
yeah.
Look, I don't know why you're trying to read the book, the Bible for comfort. The fucking begat God and fucking all this madness.
No, it was. I don't even think it was. I don't even think it was Old Testament. I think it was New Testament. Yeah. So I was just more or less reading the Gospels, or the eyewitness accounts of Jesus or whatever. But I was just mainly reading them, and then once your guy just grabbed that and flew it across, and everyone started laughing. I just felt like, even in school in general, like even just getting, like I don't want to go into the nitty grits of me like getting called names and this, that, the other, but like all that just happened anyway, and that was like the cherry on the cake where I was like, nah, I'm not going to school again, not a chance. And then ultimately, that made me fail my education, and I didn't feel like I was going to go anywhere. But then I started to build myself back up and going through Belfast Met, and then all of a sudden my life just took a wee turnaround, and here I am.
Dude. Look, it's all, that's the thing too, that there's always light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to mental health. Which is probably a thing as well. When you have like certain like diseases that become like incurable, or if you have like stage 4 cancer, there is no light then, because you're gonna eventually pass on. But with mental health, certain mental health, depression, anxiety, there's things you can do to come out of it.
Yeah.
So that's something that men have to bear in mind. Is, if you're feeling low and feeling, not feeling 100%, there is a way to come out of it.
Yeah. I think expression, and like even just letting people know about it is probably number one. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people don't even like take that, like they just go like, well, we all heard that before, but like, I mean, like genuinely deeply think about it. Like we see when you have certain thoughts or all these negative thoughts sitting in your head, and you're keeping that contained in, and you're not sharing that with anyone. You're just building like pressure within yourself until you explode. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. That's why it's good. It is hard to do, but it's good to talk. And if you have someone close to you, a friend or a family member, like even Tyrone today, he said to me, I can't believe that you've been holding this burden on your own and you never fucking told me.
Yeah.
He said, I'm actually raging at you, but I just didn't want anyone else to worry about it. And then I didn't want people to torture me as well. Like, where are you going, or what are you doing, or how are you feeling? And my cousin Joy, who passed away from cancer, he is that me?
Actually, yeah.
Hold on, I'll bring you back. So he was here, right? In March 2022. Me and him was hanging out, went and had lunch and talking and shooting the shit. And he just looked normal, he looked healthy. He didn't mention anything about cancer, but he was like in stage 4 this time, but nobody knew.
Flat.
And so I didn't see him, man, for a couple of months. The next time I seen him in the summer, he was like this. Like he lost so much weight.
Yeah.
And he looked sick. And I hugged him, and like the way he hugged me was like as if he knew it was the last hug he was going to give me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was thinking, then at that stage I knew he'd had cancer, but I was going, it couldn't be that bad, because I was just with him a couple of months ago and everything was normal, and he's going to come out of it. But that was the last time I'd seen him like physically. We FaceTimed like maybe 2 days before he passed, but he didn't want to burden people with what was going on, but it left a lot of like my family going like, why didn't he just say something? So you do have to talk, and I know it's coming from me because I hadn't said anything for the last 8 months, but I didn't want anyone to be burdened with what I was going through, because and thankfully, touch wood, that there was nothing there, but I didn't want people to worry about something that there was nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But definitely, if you're going through stuff, you have to to talk because the problem shared, the problem halved. Even, you know, with Tyrone, when he was saying to me about, he's been saying for years, I think I've got ADHD, and I was going, you're full of shit. No, like you don't, but we were still talking about it. So that gave him, I think, the courage to kind of try and get a diagnosis because me and him had been talking about it. But you need to have that confidence that you can talk to people.
Yeah.
Even, you know, today then when I was after I had the procedure and they told me the ring was all good, I sent a picture into my friend's WhatsApp group and they were all panicking and they explained everything, what had been going on and what, that everything was clear.
Yeah.
So then they start slagging me. But, you know, humor is comfort, especially for my group of friends. And
That's the same with me. I always find like it's always better to be like it's always better to laugh than it is to cry about a situation.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So they start having memes of frigging people getting anal probes. And,
Yeah.
You know, so you get bucked in.
Yeah.
But nah, it's a big weight off my shoulders. And I'm sure once you start talking about your problems the weight was lifted off yours.
100%. Like as I said, like it's just like a bunch of pressure. Like see, even just not being able to express that for the longest time, it'll just build and build, and then things will just get more negative and negative as time flies by. Do you know what I mean? Like that's exactly what happened to me, and until I got to that point until my brother walked in, and I was like, you know what?
How old is your brother?
My brother now.
But I should say, how many years is he younger?
So he's about 4 years younger than me.
4 years younger.
So he probably walked in when he was about 13, like first or second year of school.
And that could have traumatized him, did it? Or
Yeah.
he just seen he's standing there, so he didn't see anything.
No, he walked through the door and he saw like I was literally like toes off about to hop off. It would have been worse if he saw I was lifeless. Do you know what I mean? But after seeing that, it was just so scary. Even just the picture, like almost within that second, I pictured what it would look like from his perspective, seeing your own brother about to take his life and not even anywhere, not even like out, drop it off anywhere else, home. Just in your family home, because I felt like it was the only place that I feel like I would at least be cared about with my family. But then that's where I ended up. Like no matter what, my family was always there for me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I put my family up there, like because even during that, and even though I was a pain in the arse, like with my mum and not going to school and stuff like that. There, she was always there to still help me and support me. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. You know, I've never struggled with mental health issues. Obviously, I get down days, and I think some people confuse with being down or being melted about stuff. They're going, I'm depressed, but I'm like very loving. Our family had always been like spoiled, and everyone's just like my family's always breaking me up. So I've always been confident and like self-love and all that. So I've never suffered it, but a lot of men do. It's not uncommon. So it's good that you're able to speak about it now.
Well, that's a good point you actually bring up. Like, see, even within my family though, right? Like. Me growing up and me being raised and all, it was all good, but it was all about like the idea of me fitting in. Like I always just wanted to have the idea of like fitting in with everyone. Like so, everyone that usually goes through that stage when they're younger. You walk about, you're wearing like your normal clothes, and then you go about, you see people wearing their 95s and their Nike tracksuits, and you're like, and then they start speaking a certain way, and you want to speak like that as well. Like it was that sort of fitting in that I wasn't able to do that. I was just like, I was too much of my own person, and people didn't like, not the normal. Yeah. So I felt always excluded. And then obviously being at home, I was like permanently online. Like I was just online, because online was a place where they didn't see my face, they only heard me, and I was able to just be able to talk.
You were catfishing people?
No, definitely not catfishing people. No, but no, that's what it is, because and then free games and all that sort of stuff. That's where I shared my interest. Yeah. And even before doing what I'm doing now, I was doing like Twitch streaming and all that sort of stuff. So
I think as well, like I never kind of went through that phase of trying to fit in, because growing up here in West Belfast, I was the only minority around, so I was sticking out from ever. Always like the tall and black, and I'm tall, and then I always had long hair. So I was like, fuck it, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
It's the Tommy show in my mind.
Yeah.
So I never cared about fitting in because I knew I wouldn't fit in anyway. But maybe some people, and I have spoke to some black people or ethnic minorities who grew up around white people, and they've struggled because they wanted to fit in, and then they start, straightening their hair or like wearing blue contacts, and trying to distance themselves from where they're from. Whereas I just embraced it more.
Yeah.
But it's just what kind of like person or kind of personality that you have.
Yeah. That's what there will in the first early stage of my life. That's definitely, I was always like, oh, fitting in is always what it is. But I actually feel like more so it's actually who you surround yourself with that really matters. Because I was surrounding myself with people who were like following like the herd, following what other people were doing, and I was part of that herd as well.
Yeah.
And then it took me a wee while, obviously, to like get to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna be a part of the herd. Like I just have to accept that as the case, and it's a look show. So it's like it's
exactly.
just me.
So start a herd.
So that's what I mean. So that's why I started doing my own thing, and then obviously with that being said, I started doing my own thing and started getting on the way I usually get on, not trying to be someone else. And I found that it's not about who you can't get everyone to appreciate you, but the people who do appreciate you appreciate who you are. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's where that was the big lesson I had in my life.
You have to appreciate yourself, because at the end of the day, it's all you've got is yourself.
100%.
And then I suppose a big thing for me was coming here to this gym. And boxing is a great place for young people who are struggling. Find a local gym somewhere and go down. And even if you have no ambitions of becoming a champion or entering championships or even boxing competitively, you get your self-confidence. It's a one-man sport or one-woman sport, and you only rely on yourself. So this definitely helped build on my resilience that I already was born with. And then you make friends. So, people who are struggling with finding friends or struggling to fit in at school or in the street, you come in here and, it's well known. You walk into a boxing gym, you leave your ego at the door and everyone's the same.
Yeah.
And then you have lifelong friends. Like there's guys here who I boxed with when I was 13 or 14, and I haven't seen them since then. But if I seen them right now, we'll still be like mates, because it's like such a close knit community.
Yeah.
So definitely sports and boxing, boxing and sports in general is a great place for people to overcome them social barriers. And even I remember when I first joined a boxing club, and I didn't know anyone, because this is not my area. I'm from Lennotown and this is Andytown.
Aye.
But at the start, people trying to get to know people was all good. But then I felt like an outsider, because I was only black kid in the gym, and I was the only Lennotowner in the gym. And I didn't feel like I was like gelling with the lads, but I was still here. And then only when I started fighting, when everyone was coming around the lads were cheering with all their might for me and like getting behind me. So that lets you know that they are your friends. We're all on the same team. So if you join the football team, it would be the same. And well, I would imagine. And even I played GAA for Guatemala, and the lads who I played with, like I stopped playing it under 14 or under 16. Still friends with them this day. I don't see them that often, but would still be friendly.
Same with me, actually,
So definitely for young people to overcome those kind of mental barriers, get involved in some sort of sport or some sort of club.
Yeah.
Did you say gaming helped you?
Well, yeah, I'd say. Well, some cases, yes. Like when I was online, like I think it's just like the idea of just having people around you who like share the same interests. But you can always be mates with people who obviously have different interests. But I feel like when you have a group,
commonality.
Yeah, like a commonality.
So that's why as well, the same with a boxing. Everyone in the gym is here to box, so
Yeah.
they want to be boxers.
Exactly,
So they're
yeah.
on the same path as you.
Yeah.
Or if you're joining a football club or anything, everyone's on the same team. They all have the same goal. If you're gaming, we are here to game, so you know what we're going through.
Yeah.
But I would say, with the gamers, go and meet each other outside or somewhere else instead of sitting in a room just being online all the time.
And that's one thing, especially when I was even online, like going on to this here, when it came to games and me playing online and stuff like that, I would always be mates with all these bunch of people, but I would always be so adamant on meeting with them because I'm like, these people are just like the way I am. They respect who I am. And you know what? Even outside of the PC or outside of, gaming and stuff like that, they'd be good mates because we have loads to talk about like we do online. And I would always be adamant on that. So, there's people I've met who have been best mates with online. Like, for example, one of my best mates is from Newcastle, and I met him when he was, I don't even know, maybe like 9, and I was like 9 as well. And ever since from then all the way till now, we've been we're best. We're like brothers.
Said you were 9 as well. Look at what's going on. What are you doing? Playing with 9-year-olds?
No. So he was.
Because I actually seen something online. These two guys had never met, but had been friends for like 15 years online.
Online, yeah.
And he asked him to be his best man at his wedding. Mm-hmm. And then when he came for his wedding, that's the first time they'd ever met in the physical form.
Aye. It's a surreal feeling. And you know what? Even at 9, obviously it took many years for it to come after. And I only actually met him like I think maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, but you've been talking to him every day from you were 9.
Yeah. And that's the thing though. Even at some points we weren't like, we would always make like I would have a year not like talking to each other. But if I went back on my computer and he was on, I'd give him a wee message or he'd give me a message, and we'd still be good. Like, do you know what I mean? Like even after a year. So, and then even till this day, he's still my best mate. Like, so yeah, like I feel like definitely like I feel like people shouldn't diminish the idea of you can meet friends online, but I think it's so important to do like meet up in real life.
Yeah, to
I feel
come offline and meet them in real life.
I think like online isn't everything. It isn't like, because it can be addicting in a sense because you can feel like that's your comfort zone. But like I'm always a fan of like, you have sometimes if you live too comfortable, you'll live too comfortable. Do you get me? So sometimes it's better to get out of your comfort zone and do something out of place to get you back on track and to get you working again.
Definitely. So that's what we're saying all this just to highlight men's health. I know health for men and women is important, but men's health awareness week coming up. I'm a man, Luke's a man. So we just, wanted to touch on that this week, especially because Tyrone's away and there's something, everything doesn't have to be ha ha he he. We can talk about some serious stuff from time to time. And my friend who's a doctor, Dr. Pete, when he's been, helping me behind the scenes about me and what's going on with me with a colon, or is it even the colon? Or I don't know what it was. It was just fucking shit. Every time I talk about shit, there was blood. So it's like it's scary.
Yeah,
and then
scary,
even my father-in-law, I was his friend. There was blood in the stool, and then but he was all right. And then next thing, like he's got stomach cancer, and this guy was like 60 or 70. But I was going, geez, I have blood in my stool. This is when I was putting it off, going to the doctors. That made me even more nervous. But I just kept on. I'm only 33, like, and I feel good. I feel healthy, but it was still like worrying me kind of. And then I done a comedy show with Colin Murphy, and he done a set. And then in his set, he was talking about blood in the stool and having to go and get a checkup and all. And it was funny what he was talking about, but I was worried as well in listening. But then he was okay. He was clear. He had hemorrhoids or something. Sorry if I'm giving away the punchline, but I was sitting laughing, listening to this set, and then once he started talking about that, I stopped laughing because I was listening intently to see where he was going with it, because I'm having these symptoms myself. Yeah. But yeah, my friend Dr. Pete, he was like, listen, you should go and talk on the podcast about it because it could help a lot of men out there who are worried. I was like, fuck it, I don't want to be the poster boy for friggin' anal penetration.
Yeah, I know what you
but it is important for us to go on to get checked.
Just with anything, I think like if anyone feels like there's something going on, and even if you think it's even like the symptoms, I think it's better to be late than sorry.
Yeah, safe than sorry, 100%, definitely. So I have to look, like we said, you find comfort in the humor. You know, today I'm going through that procedure. There was a lot of things that I was thinking, fuck, this would be a good joke. So I could use like bits of it in my comedy.
Yeah.
And obviously I can joke about it because I don't have cancer. Thanks be to God. But I was very worried about it. And there was putting on a brave face for everyone. And then when I was on my own, and I'm not ashamed. Well, I am ashamed to admit it, but I'm going to admit it anyway. Sitting on my own and going, is this it? And I was crying. I was looking at my kids playing. I was going, fuck, I miss all this.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I'm not going to miss it all.
Yeah.
But even stuff, like when my phone rang on the podcast the other week, I was in work and my phone rang and I had to run out and take the call. But it was all trying to, be discreet about what's going on with me. And, the Lord works in mysterious ways because I wasn't going to say nothing about this, only for the fact that when I went to the hospital for today, every cunt in there knew me. So I was like, fucking, I may as well just talk to me. Maybe that's a sign from God to talk for men, because like my friend had said, use your platform to highlight men's health to go and get checked.
Yeah.
And and his wife too. I said to Pete, listen, don't tell anyone. I'm just talking to you because you're a doctor. But his wife's a doctor as well. But then he went and told his wife. So then she got in contact with me, Dr. Sarah. I was like, fuck's sake. Like, but he was like, no, she's a GP. It's more her area, so she'd be able to help me more. So shout out Dr. Sarah because she's been great as well helping me. And I hope to God I never have to go with them again about these kind of problems. I hope to God I never have to get another colonoscopy in my life. And I'm fit and healthy, and that's all you can ask for.
100%. And that's another thing as well. Just like even for mental health, like just constantly being up and moving as well. I can't even express how much that's even helped me as well. Like just the way you were saying about going to a boxing club, and even with like anything, I feel like just keeping on the move, because like I'm a big, like person in terms of pushing the whole, like you have a healthy mind, healthy body. You push your body through that limit, you'll get a healthy mind. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always about that.
That is, and there's nothing makes you feel better than getting in shape, being fit, and it doesn't happen overnight. But you work at it and stay disciplined. See, once you start getting in good shape, then you feel on top of the world. Like last month, was it last month? I was like, I'm going to do a 4-week transformation, try and just train. I'm going to go off the drink, no bullshit. I'm a dad, and see what I can do. And I was buzzing with myself after 4 weeks, the shape I got in. And, just felt on top of the world, like take my top off and, look in the mirror, be like, fuck me, you're a tank, kid.
100%.
You know what I mean? But you just feel so confident, so good about yourself.
Yeah.
And then at least, if I was going to die of cancer, at least it was a tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's almost like, in a sense, like, your mind, like, your mind sort of manifested in that sense.
Yeah,
like,
you have to think of it, but you can't just sit in your hole and manifest it.
Yeah,
you have to work. So everything starts with a thought, and like all you have to do is stay disciplined and do what you said you were gonna do.
Yeah, it's like it's the whole like quote like one day or day one.
Yeah.
One day or day one. Like you can sit there and think about the idea of going to do it, but until you actually make it your day one, like even if you feel like there's so much going on, like I feel like even with myself, like I was like I'd shout out to David Goggins, like, but that this whole mindset sort of helped me sort of to push through
Definitely
that.
David Goggins. He is inspirational for obviously for you and for me in regards to training, because there's always more you can do.
Yeah.
And then when you're feeling like stop, no, I'm tired. Like it's like stop being a pussy and just get it done.
Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
Yeah. But even David Goggins, I was training and I put up a video saying I'm like the Irish David Goggins. I'm out here putting in the work. Stay hard, and I tagged him on Instagram, and he wrote back to me, "Stay hard."
Yeah.
And then I wrote back to him, that's what she said. Thought he would have found it funny, but he didn't reply. Come on, David, we're out here. We'll want you on a podcast next time we're over. But definitely, it's all about when you're training, staying disciplined. Don't talk about it, be about it. Mm-hmm. And the results in your body when you're training will show if you're being true to the game. Mm-hmm. People say, I've been training, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I've been that. Well, why are you not fit? Why are you not in shape? Why are you not losing weight?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do for the world to see is not important. It's about what do you do behind the scenes for yourself, because you're not fooling no one.
Yeah.
So just stick to what you're going to do. And it doesn't have to be training. It can be anything. Whatever you set yourself a task to do, once you complete it, there's no feeling like it. Like, it's unreal.
In a sense, it almost makes you like I don't know, like trust yourself. And I feel like it's a weird concept to sort of put out, but like the idea of like if you sit there and say, I'm going to do something, and then you don't do it, then you lose like a trust within yourself. And like when you say you're going to do something, you like lack that the idea that you're going to be able to actually follow through. So when you say, I'm going to do this, you need to mean to do it. Do you know what I mean? Because then you build confidence within yourself and you build that
thing. Whether you do something or you don't, nobody cares. Mm-hmm. You're only affecting yourself.
Yeah.
So if I had to say last month, right, I'm going to do a 4-week transformation and see what the results will be like in 4 weeks. If I didn't do it, I would be going to myself, fuck, like I should have done it. No, like I would feel disappointed in myself. Mm-hmm. But because I've done it and I was happy with the results, I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
Now anyone who see me on Instagram, even I was taking pictures of myself in the mirror, taking selfie in the mirror, BBM pose, she'd be killing them hoes. Even Tyrone was like, somebody take your phone off you. But it's like, I was just buzzing with myself.
Yeah.
And I know nobody cares, but it's not for no one. Anything you do should be for yourself.
100%. 100%. Like that self-love and self-improvement is always going to be like a key factor in pretty much everything. Yeah. And I think it's definitely needs to be pushed out there. And I feel like, it's, if you want to get out there, and even if your head's filled with negative thoughts, all that there, like just doing a wee bit of exercise, even if it's boxing. Like boxing is, I think, number one in my opinion, but people could find that in swimming, people could find that in golf, people can find that in something else, and just finding something that will take your mind away from all that thinking and prioritizing it into something else that could get you up in some way is 10 times better than being stuck where you are.
Even with Tyrone. So Tyrone announced his retirement in December, and since then he was just like living the easy life. But it was doing his head in because he wasn't training, he wasn't doing anything. And now that he's back training, he's on top of the world.
Yeah.
And even when he went to get diagnosed about his ADHD, the doctor said to him, camp is good for you. Like, you need to be in training camp, and that's going to simmer down his symptoms. Mm-hmm. So when he does eventually decide to hang up with gloves, he'll probably just have to train forever. But training, what it does for you is just, it's great. Like, no no one can deny how good you feel about training.
Oh, 100%.
You never regret doing a training session.
Yeah.
Even though yesterday, so I was in Portugal for a family wedding. Got back home on Sunday night, Sunday midnight. Got up for work at 5 the next morning. I was wrecked. I was like, I ain't gonna bother training. I'll go on Tuesday because I'm tired. But I ended up doing a high rock session at 9:30 because there was only one girl in doing it. She was doing it on her own. So shout out Fiona, she was doing it. I was like, I'll do it with you. And I was buzzing in with myself after doing it. You know, even though that morning getting up I was sleepy and I was feeling sorry for myself, I had that David Goggins in my ear going,
It's me, motherfucker.
it's me, motherfucker. Who's gonna carry the boat?
Are you still asleep? Get your ass out of bed.
Stay hard, motherfucker. Are you gonna be a poopy pants? I was like, nah, I ain't no poopy pants. And we got on this High Rocks and it was buzzing with myself too.
No, one thing he says so accurately that scares me is that he's like, don't listen to that voice. He's like, don't listen to that voice in your head. And I'm like, what's he on about? Why do I feel like he's resonating something there? And it is, you have this, like, I feel like everyone has this, like, wee voice in the back of their head being like, just 2 more minutes, I'll just stay in bed. Just don't get at it.
100%.
Now you can leave it for today. And it's that voice that you need to, like, David Goggins just, like, put him in a cage. And he's
and
in complete control.
Even Goggins has said it, and people who are, like, so driven and are doing good stuff in all areas of life, they all have that voice. But the people, so like you said, everyone in the world has that voice in 2 more minutes in bed, or I'll do it tomorrow, or trying to put stuff off. But it's the people who hear the voice and ignore it are the ones who are flying.
Because the way I say it is like you're in control. Like in the best way, like you're in control. Like you can trust yourself with things that come across, like even things that are saying, nah, leave it for tomorrow, don't do today, you don't need to go today. And then you go ahead and do it is like, means you're just in complete control of what you're doing. Like you're completely,
That's 100%. And that's just what separates the people who are like happy when motivated and the people who are like the poopy pants, as David Goggins is talking about.
And that's the thing, but here's the thing. Nobody is just like that in general. Everyone starts off with being a poopy pants, like. Do you know what I mean? It's that idea, and I feel like a lot of people could say, oh no, I can't do it, but you can. Like if you really put your mind to it, you really can.
Everyone can.
And here's the thing though, as well, and I feel like a lot of people feel like once you're in that mindset, you have to consistently say it. And listen, like, I was like that once, but even I'll admit now, like I've died down. I've started listening to that voice a wee bit, but it comes and goes. And as long as you're able to overcome that more and more and accept that things does happen like that, you'll overcome anything.
Everything has to start, and slowly build up. Even like Bob Marley says that even the biggest man was once a baby, and it's true. Like everyone has to grow. So if like this is turning into the David Goggins show, but like even his story when he went out to try and run, he couldn't do a mile. So he started off with a mile and then go 2 miles, and then now the guy is doing 25,000 miles running for no reason. You know what I mean? So you just have to do it. Everything slowly. And again, it's probably with the kind of society that we're in. But people just want results straight away. That's why people, like, you can grow, not that a pervert or anything, but you can grow your bum naturally. But what's the thing that everyone wants to get now? BBL, Jesus. Did you know?
100%. It's like McDonald's. It's like you want to go in, you go to McDonald's not for it tastes great. You want to get in because you get it like that. You get
instant gratification.
And that's what.
But is not lasting. McDonald's is a great or great example of instant gratification, but doesn't last. You get a McDonald's, eat it, 10 minutes later, you're hungry again. Or you regret it. Well, for me, I haven't had McDonald's in a long time, but I'll be like, why did I even get that?
Nah, it's fucking shit.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, you just discipline. Discipline is the main thing.
Yeah, 100%.
In life.
Over motivation all day, every day. You can watch something and get motivated, but just say you it's like watching almost like I know it's a weird example. It's like watching a TikTok video and it motivates you, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym. And then you wake up the next day and you're not feeling the best. And instead of always going, don't go to the gym today, you can rest up.
I can't relate. Look, I don't watch TikTok videos. I need to get out. You know, TikTok, everyone talks about TikToks, but we have one for the podcast.
Aye.
I have a personal one where I made during COVID 2 videos. We were my daughters dancing with my oldest daughter and my second oldest, and then the absolute monotony of making a TikTok video is crazy.
Oh wow, yeah, 100%.
Like, fuck this, I'm just gonna stick to Instagram and just do what up world and just talk about it. It's done like that quickly. Yeah. And I think that's why people need to respect professional TikTokers a bit more, because it's not no easy job.
Yeah.
These people are actually sounding mad saying this, but they're actually busting their arse making this. Like the much that goes into making a TikTok is just
well, and you're also learning. You're learning skills as well. Yeah, you're learning skills. Like you have to, when you're doing TikTok, you can't just upload it. Like sometimes you have to edit it. Sometimes you have to see what works, what doesn't. And and also you're also like when you're a TikToker like that, your life isn't really private, because if you're not uploading stuff about your life, you're not making money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously, even if you want to have a private time in your life, you can't do that because you need to be making the pay. Like so. Yeah. So that's another actually example as well. TikTok of instant gratification, because all the videos are 8-10 seconds long, so you instantly get gratified. You're like, oh, it's 10 seconds, I'll watch it. But if it was like 5 minutes, you're like, nah, wait till later. So another example of gratification.
Yeah, definitely. And it doesn't last. But what does last is setting a target, achieving a target, and then you can look back on it forever. Even people who say, we'll talk about my friend, right? Mark Kinley owns Tribe, my best friend, right? And he's Tyrone's best friend too, so don't hang him flying off, right? Mark Kinley's our leader. All he ever wanted, he was in this club of us too. When we were kids, his biggest target was to get a 6-pack, right? It's a random target to have, but again, that toxic masculinity, we just want to be tanks. And he trained hard all the time, but he never had a 6-pack. He done a 6-week transformation. And once he got that 6-pack, he was just buzzing with his life. Mm-hmm. If he never trained ever again, he could have just looked back on it and went, fuck, look at the shape I was in. But the satisfaction he got out of doing it led to him going into the fitness industry. And now he owns Tribe Fitness. They have 3 gyms.
Exactly.
His balls
positive things come out of positive outcomes. 100%. I'll always say it. Like everything that comes in positive, then no matter what, and you feel great, stuff like that, there, positive stuff always comes after it. You know what I mean? Yeah. 100%.
Even myself, I lost my last 2 fights in boxing, and it's it's not looking good, fam. It's not looking good, bruv. But, if I was to stop boxing, or if I never want to fight ever again, I can look back and be proud that I came into this gym in 2002.
That's when I was born.
Was it? Jesus. I came into this gym in 2022. No. So I came in here 2002 after Luke was born, and my goal was to become a professional and to be a champion, be a world champion. And I haven't achieved that goal yet, but I have won. My first goal was to be an Irish champion as a schoolboy, and I set that target, I achieved it. If I never won anything after it, I could look back on and be proud of it. Listen, I was an Irish champion. I was the champion of my country. Then my next goal was to become a senior champion. I became an elite champion twice. That's something, if I never box ever again, I can look back on and be proud of that. And then the next goal was to be Ireland's first black European champion. I always wanted to make some black history and Irish history together, and I've done it. So if my career was to end now, I can look back and be not satisfied. I could be proud of that achievement.
Aye.
But that didn't happen overnight. That was a goal that I set in years that I had to work towards.
Yeah.
So there is the instant gratification. There's no merit to it because you didn't have to work for it unless you won the fucking lotto. That would be instant gratification.
Aye.
And that's what I'm waiting on every week. If I was to win the lotto, I would probably just get my money back from the tickets that I've been buying. Because I'm fucking buying it Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, fucking set for life.
Aye.
Scratch card. I'm trying. So that wouldn't even be instant gratification. That's a training camp in itself.
Aye.
From I was 16 to now, up until today, buying tickets. So we're saying all that to say, man, take care of your health. Don't leave it too late. Women, take care of yourself as well, but I don't think women have as much of a, what's the word? Want of a better word, an icky feeling towards health. You know, as men, we always put off going to the doctors.
Aye.
Put off talking about our problems. Obviously, you don't want to fucking talk to everyone about your problems because there's some bad men people out there who will just use it against you and go and talk about, hey, did you hear about, look, fuck, he was in the Bible, he was in a class reading the Bible, and then try and use it against you.
Yeah.
But if you talk to someone who you know and trust and love, they can say, listen, you need to do this, you need to get out of the house more, or tell me you need to go and see a doctor. And, you know, we get your problems, get your issues sorted. Leaving it to fester just makes shit even worse.
100%.
So I think we've talked enough shit for today. So I'm going to say peace out. Luke, thanks for sharing your troubles with us.
No worries.
And, you know, again, people, if you're interested in advertising or promoting your business, or you just want to help the lads out, please get in contact about being a sponsor or whatever. If you just want to make a donation to the show, you can send something to a PayPal. Send a PayPal to mccannaty@hotmail.co.uk. And this has been a men's health awareness show. Did you say that, Luke?
Oh, aye, yeah.
So, man, big up yourselves. Don't feel ashamed if you're going through any issues mentally or physically. We're all going through it. And I don't want to hear no slaggings about me getting a colonoscopy because everyone's getting them. Right? So, yes, peace out.
Yes, take it easy.